Welcome back to Family Matters in Marshfield. We're in the middle of our Christmas series. My name is Rich. I'm the pastor at First Baptist Church here in town, and we are for the families in Marshfield. We want to come alongside. We want to help. We're talking all things family, from preschoolers to kids, teenagers, marriage, parenting, grandparenting, all of the things in the middle. I'm loving this Christmas series. The video on mental health and depression during Christmas was a very powerful one. And today I'm joined back again with Stephen McNeil, a friend of mine from South Carolina. We have done ministry together, and he is one of the best family ministers in the country, in my opinion, because he's passionate about family. He's passionate about kids and teenagers at every phase, and he's passionate about helping men and women in their marriages and in their parenting. And so Stephen's back. We talked about communication last time, and today we're going to talk about dating our spouse. And so, Stephen, again, tell us just briefly about yourself, your family, and then we'll jump into our conversation.
Yeah, just again want to say thank you to Pastor Rich for having us on. Again, from Lexington, South Carolina. I've been married over 20 years to my wife, Morgan. We got two teenagers, and so we're living it. We know it, the busyness of life. And so I love this topic that you brought forward, Rich, to us about dating.
Before you go there, I want to stop for a second, because I think sometimes people may be watching these videos and I and think, okay, y'all can sit here and talk about things, but it doesn't, you don't understand our context. Let me tell you, Stephen and Morgan McNeil are two of the busiest people I know. Like every time I text Stephen, like it doesn't matter if it's early in the morning or if it's late at night and he's on Eastern time zone, he's still in the middle of the grind. And so when Stephen talks about busy, I just want you to know, when he talks about these practical things, he's living these things out in a life that is full. It's not like he gets off at 3 and goes home and just waits for the kids with milk and cookies, and he's there. And so he and Morgan drive a full schedule. So I just want to lay that out there, that sometimes we can watch a video, and I do that. I watch videos like this and I think, oh, well, it must be nice to be you.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
I did that, then I could go on dates. I could sit down and talk. I could do. And so, sorry to interrupt you there, but I just wanted to lay that out there, because you do that. You and Morgan both do that with such grace. Yet you all live such a full life, and your kids are all over the place, very successful in athletics, and so talk to us a little bit about marriage and dating.
Yeah. Man, I just want to say, like, it's all seasons, and what I love about working in the local church, and I know you do as well, Rich, is that we see all those different seasons. Like I see couples now who have grandkids, and they're re walking through the season, but they had to learn how to date again. And that's the challenge for us at where we are. Is what does that date look like for us? And I always have to go back to, like, what made me pursue her in the first place? Like going back to those, I want to impress her and I want to one up her and I want to make her laugh and I want to make her smile and I want her to have fun. And for us right now, that may be a date at a basketball gym, eating a hot dog and, like those, I'm a big spender, like, but for us, we know that's a season. But what we have to be really careful as is making sure that during this season that that's not what we totally become, because during that season we can grow apart. When we really got to try to grow together, because we have the greatest audience with our two kids, their teammates, but also the families that sit in the gyms with us, and making sure that we make a priority. We want our kids to see that us dating is a priority. And so we have to be really creative with that. Yes, that word creative, that means that we have to be very strategic. That's your word. I learned that word from you a lot. We got to be very strategic in how we have a date, and that may be for us 45 minutes riding in a car, creating a playlist, dancing, singing. I dance with my wife in our kitchen all the time, playing a song. Because that stat now, and I'm sure Rich, you've heard this as well. I mean, the average family, uh, it says, about 37 minutes a day is what they spend actually like quality time together. So think if you're only spending 37 minutes with your kids, quality time, how much time are you really spending with your spouse? Because that sucks up a lot of your times. And so your tank gets on empty, and that's what you're giving your spouse. And so you have to be really creative, especially during the Christmas time. It's like, what does that date look like? Um, and so for us, I I set my team down yesterday. We had a Christmas party, our family ministry team, which Rich knows all of them. A lot of personalities on it. A lot of great people, but a lot of personalities. And I asked him, it's like, well, what does Christmas look like for you as a couple and dating?
Right.
And it was unique because a lot of the things I wrote down, they said too. And so, Rich, if it's okay with you, I'd love to share just some date ideas.
Yep. Please
That
throw them out at us. And
Yeah,
I hope if you're watching that you may be driving, that you would plan on coming back to this, write these down, and let your mind explore other possibilities. So throw them at us, Stephen.
yeah. And I'd say the biggest thing for you as a couple, you've got to make it a priority. Just like you make getting your kids to practice a priority, you got to make your date night a priority. Like it has to be important. It's almost one of those things like you need to put up on in your calendar, on your phone, or wherever you do that, and you say, this cannot be erased. Um, we
And
may
that's
take this
hard.
off.
Like that's hard.
That is hard. It is hard. But why in the world, I think we've messed it up in our culture today. Like T-ball practice means more than taking my spouse out. Like
Because if my
our
kid plays t-ball, they're going to college on a baseball scholarship.
That's right, and they're going to get $1,000 scholarship, and we've already spent that on two bats. You know what I mean? Like it's but and we miss taking our spouse out to Chick-fil-A. Like I mean, we just missed the boat. So some of the things that we just jotted down, and man, and these are easy. They don't cost you a lot of money. Create a love playlist together. Create a Christmas playlist together. That's one of the fun things. Like one of my favorite songs is Christmas in Dixie, or Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Like, so we create a
Do
Christmas
you and
playlist that
Morgan
we play
dance
in the
to
car
that?
together.
Do you and
What's
Morgan
that?
dance
Do I
to
dance to that?
the grandma
Oh
got
man,
run over
yeah.
by a reindeer?
Yeah. And it makes me laugh, like and then I think about my grandma. So anyway, um, go get together and just get in your car, go drive and look at lights right now. That costs you nothing. There's all kind of things online you can go and pull up in your community. Like go look at these Christmas lights. It's free.
Yeah.
And then you're in a car, not bothered by all the distractions. It's just you and your spouse.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the easiest and funnest ways
And
to.
I think sometimes we misunderstand what makes a great date.
Oh
We
yeah,
think it's a fine meal, it's a fancy show, or it's we've got in our mind what it is. But what makes a great date is a place where it's just the two of you and the
right.
distractions are minimalized.
That's right. Yeah. So go to your local convenience store, grab you a snack and something to drink, and ride in the car and talk and just enjoy that time together. Sing, laugh, look at lights. Here's another one I think is really cool. Go on a picture date. Go somewhere, take your cell phone out, take a picture. Go on a picture date. Run up to people's like I don't want you to go. Don't get in trouble. But run up to people's Christmas decorations and take a picture with the big blown up snowman. Like have fun, laugh as kids. I think those are so much fun. Pick a random show to go see together. I'm not a ballet person, but that would be something that would show that I'm trying something new for her. And she would do the same for me. Um, do some of that. Here's a good one I think that we take for granted a lot of time. Pull out an old photo album, maybe from your wedding, and just sit together out by a fire on your back porch and flip through old photos and see where God's taking you, like where you started. And man, that could be just an incredible date night right there all alone when you go back through all the old memories and you see your friends and loved ones that maybe that have gone on to be in heaven. Like you sit back and you go and you just kind of look at some of that. Um, Pick two favorite Christmas movies, one of yours, one of his. Like sit down and you watch them back to back. And you just cuddle up
Oh
on the couch.
goodness. That was
Um,
for me, not being able to sit still. You're driving me crazy here. Like
yeah,
I
I
don't know
know.
if I can do that.
That's why
Yeah.
pick a short movie. Um, Go to the store. This is a big one for me. I'm a cut up. I love to cut up and have fun. So we'll go in a store, like a big box store. We'll go into them. We'll play hide and seek. Like I go hide and she's got to try to come find me.
Oh,
And those are just, but it doesn't cost you anything. But you're laughing and having a good time. Go run, walk a 5K that you have to dress up all in Christmas stuff. There's one every Friday, Saturday, Sunday here in our community at Christmas time because there's a lot of them you go through Christmas lights with and all those type of things. You got to run, just go walk,
yep.
have a good time. It's just you. Go serve together. I think that's a big one.
Yep.
Go to a convenience store, buy somebody's gas in front of you. You go as a couple and just say, hey, it's this Christmas season. We want you just to know, like, we're praying for you. Invite them to your local church. Like that's a huge thing. Try new food together.
Oh goodness. Now I
Yeah,
can't do
I'm a
that.
picky eater, but man,
Oh goodness.
but
So this is like early in our marriage. Angie would get something and say, "Would you want a bite?"
yeah,
No,
no,
no.
I
If I
don't.
wanted a bite, I would have ordered it.
That's
Like
right.
so, I mean, like you're pushing me here out of my zone.
Well, and it's definitely out of my zone. But what it does when I say yes, it shows her that I value what she values.
Hmm.
And I think that's where we miss it. I think it's important during Christmas time to create a bucket list. Like what do you want to do? This next year, and they don't have to be big. You don't have to go to Europe. That would be great. But what are 12 things you want to do? One a month that you want to go do together. Um, Plan a weekend away. Um, have fun. One of the I think we miss it a lot, and I want to be very G-rated on this this show. But I want to
Thank
say
you.
this, like,
You're making me nervous.
well, I think just tell y'all both dress up. Like go dress up. Once the kids have gone to bed, dress up really nice. And when she walks out, tell her how pretty she is. And just slow dance together, and I promise you do those things, it's probably going to lead to other things, and it's just incredible. But you got to value each other and you got to be creative. The worst thing in marriage is what happens. And I'll kind of wrap it up with this. What happens is we become stale. We think I've won the prize and I don't have to unwrap it each and every day. And so we take it for granted. And I think it's so important that we're very, very strategic. There's that word again, and making sure that we are still dating all the time, and we're still trying to pursue the way that we pursued them when we were trying to get them to say yes to us.
Yeah, I think a couple things you've shared that I think is key is one, lack of time is not a reason not to have dates.
That's right.
There are ways that you can overcome, and you can find a way to prioritize. Because I get it, there are seasons where life is like it's hard to find 10, 15, 20 minutes. But if you prioritize it and if you get creative, you can find ways for the connection. Remember, it's not about the fancy dinner. It's not about the fine show. It's about together an uninterrupted space. And so I think that's one of, for me, the one takeaway. And then if you're watching this, I just want to encourage you. Stephen's given you multiple ideas. And my guess is, as you hear those ideas, you may be thinking, okay, I'm not going to do that, but I can do this. He didn't give you a checklist to finish by Christmas. what he's doing, he's wanting to push you towards and encourage you to prioritize it. And so I just want to encourage you. We have a few days, just over a week before Christmas, and I want to encourage you to have at least one date before Christmas Day. Have at least one date. It may be 20 minutes, it may be an hour, it may be a 6 hour day. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is between now and Christmas, find a time to have a date, set it up with your spouse, and you all prioritize that in being together. And then as we turn into the new year, and Stephen, this is something I want us to talk about down the road is how do we make these things a priority in
Mm,
2024?
mm.
Right now, you may be playing catch up.
That's right.
Like you may be playing catch up, but how do we make that a priority in 2024? So, y'all push towards this. Have your Christmas date. If you've got ideas, maybe you want to leave those on our Facebook page and tell us about it. And Stephen, once again, thanks for joining us.
Mm.
And we're going to have you on one more time to talk about Christmas traditions. And so I'm looking forward to that. And wherever you're at, wherever you're watching, I hope that you have a blessed day. Make sure this season that you don't get caught up in the whirlwind and you don't lose the priority of family. But even more importantly, with that, that you don't lose the priority of you and your family
Mm.
spending time remembering the reason of the season. Our hope in this world is not when our kids make a 3-pointer, hit a home run, do this, that, make great grades. All those things are important. But our hope in this world is in our relationship with Jesus. And so this season, don't miss that
Mm.
with your family. I'll see you next time on Family Matters in Marshfield.